Here is the video that I promised you that I would show you how to make royal icing. I have received many messages over the past few days from moms that are volunteering to make the icing for their kids' class or icing that they need to assemble gingerbread houses. So I thought I'd show you that there's nothing to be scared of when making royal icing. The process takes less than 5 minutes and it's very hard to mess up. You're going to want to start off with a very clean bowl and paddle attachment and whisk. Wipe everything down with lemon juice or white vinegar. This will remove any oils that might have been left behind. The oils can ruin the meringue powder and prevent it from drying. So just give everything a good wipe down. Then we're going to start with a 1/3 cup of meringue powder. I'm going to do 2 of these. So 2 1/3 cups of meringue powder. And then I am going to add in my water. For water, I will do a little bit less than 1.5 cups. I usually do 1 3/4 cup, but because we want this to be thick, we want to use less water. So do 1.5 cups of water. And then I will add in 1 teaspoon of salt to cut down on the sweetness. This is optional. And then I will do 2 tablespoons of pure vanilla extract. This brand is my favorite. You can use other flavors as well, but I like to stick to vanilla. Now, once you've done that, you will whisk everything up. You want to keep whisking until it turns into a beer-like foam. I was about to say foam texture. I don't know if that's correct, but like beer foam. You want it to look like beer foam. So I'm going to whisk. It takes about 30 seconds. This helps dissolve your meringue powder well. You don't want any lumps in there. Okay, now that 30 seconds have passed, this is what it should look like. And from here, we are going to grab 4 pounds of powdered sugar, and we are going to add that right into your bowl. I add this all in one go. Now add on your attachment, whether it is a paddle like this one or a whisk. And I will now turn on the mixer, but I will turn it on and turn it off very quickly. That way the powdered sugar does not go flying everywhere. So it's just going to be on, off in very small increments until I start seeing it come together. If you just do it all in one go, the sugar will fly all over the place. Don't ask me how I know. Once you notice that your powdered sugar has mostly been incorporated, you can turn that on speed 2 and let it start mixing. If you notice that there is powdered sugar or some of that foam mixture along the edges of your bowl, take your spatula and scrape along the edges to incorporate that. Now here's the part where I add 4 tablespoons of corn syrup. If you are only assembling gingerbread houses, I would not bother using this ingredient. Corn syrup makes your icing softer to the bite, making it more pleasant when you are eating a cookie, but it really is not needed for the so-called glue that you will use to assemble your gingerbread houses. Now we will keep mixing until we notice that our royal icing is doubling in size and turning whiter. It will become fluffier the longer that you mix. You just want to make sure you don't overmix, because overmixing icing will also cause issues. Around 4 to 5 minutes is the perfect amount of time. Now I'll stop my mixer and I will check the consistency of my royal icing and see if it is thick enough. It's a bit too thin for my liking. You see how the end is flopping over? That would be perfect for outlining, but it is not a good consistency for piping the glue on your gingerbread houses. So I will add half a cup more powdered sugar. I think they lied to you with these bags and they are not a full 4 pounds. And then do the same thing where you turn on and off your mixer slowly so it does not go everywhere. Now let's stop the mixer and check the consistency of the icing. It looks fluffy and it's white and thick. I think this is a great consistency for piping the glue on your gingerbread houses. You can go a little bit thicker than this, but I feel that can hurt your hands if you are having to squeeze too hard. So I think this is perfect. What I do now is I grab a cup and I put my piping bag inside of there. I really like these cups. I get them on Amazon. I have about 20 of them, so I can fill tons of bags in one go. Use your spatula and scoop a bunch of royal icing into your piping bag. If you want to be really precise, you can use a scale to make sure that you weigh out the amount that's going into each cup so everybody gets the same amount. You don't have to bag all your icing at this point if you don't want to. You can also put all your royal icing into an airtight container and store it away in the fridge or freezer. What I do is I then make a knot at the end of each of my bags. I find this is the easiest way to seal it off when you are giving it to people. If you're at home, you can use a bag clip also at the end. I don't want to bag my icing yet, so I'm going to use my favorite container from Cambro. You can find these at Costco or online at Amazon, and you can scoop all your icing into your container. I know that this container is airtight, so I can just seal it when I'm done. If a container is not airtight, for added safety, you should put a layer of saran wrap over it before closing it. Now that you have your royal icing, you can store it in the fridge or in the freezer for many, many weeks. Due to its high sugar content, it can keep for a very long time. If royal icing is kept at room temperature or in the fridge, over time you might notice that the water and sugar start to separate and your consistency might get a little bit thinner. So it is best to keep it in the freezer if you do plan on storing it for an excessive amount of time. If not, just pop it in the fridge until you are ready to bag it.